Goswami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Anandagoti Vaishnava Vrindavan ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Vamsivata Guru Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Sri Gora Bhakta ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Govinda Sayam Kunda Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan ki jai. Majoram ki jai. Vrindavan ki jai. Sami ki jai. Vipurvai ki jai. Shrimati Glasini ki jai. Sambhara Bhakta ki jai. Gaura Premananda. All glorious and simple devotees. All glorious and simple devotees. All glorious and simple devotees. All glorious to Shri Guru and Gauranga Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so let's get started. Om Ganati Manandasha Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Meditam Dena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha. So continuing with our Parikrama of Vraj. And we're going to finish the general Parikrama of Vraj today, and maybe we'll get on to the Vrindavan city Parikrama. So last time we left off at Chir, Ghat. Chir Ghat actually means like cheer. Does anyone know what cheer is? It's like, what is it? Thief. Thief. And also, Chir, it actually is very similar to Chir. Chira, Kor. Anyway, so yes, it means thief, and also it's similar to Chir, which means so Chir. So there's also another Chir Ghat in Vrindavan town, which is close to where Krishna bathed after he killed the Okay, so let's continue. This is, of course, the Chir Ghat we described before. This is where Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis and, in essence, married them. Because they were all trained to become his wives. Sometimes people criticize Krishna, and they said, why is he fooling around with other people's wives? Because in the material world, that's the worst thing, is to fool around with other people's wives. But actually, Krishna never fooled around with anyone else's wife, because everyone belongs to Krishna. It's their so-called husbands that are in Maya. If you think someone is your wife, you're the one who's breaking the principles. Because actually she belongs to Krishna. And then Krishna has allowed you to get married in this lifetime to this particular person to help that person become Krishna conscious. Just like it's stated in the Bhagavatam, that no one should become a guru, no one should become a husband, no one should become a parent, unless they can free their dependence from the cycle of death. One of the worst things that you can do is when a person takes shelter of you, whether it's a disciple or a wife or a child, is to actually misuse and exploit that relationship. It's a greatly sinful thing. It's a sacred duty to care for someone. Okay, so everyone, in essence, belongs to Krishna. And Krishna is the only Purusha, and the rest of us are Prakriti. That means ontologically female nature. Not that we're all gopis, that's not the point. But we all have nature being subservient to Krishna.
uslužni Krišni, da njega služimo.
All right, we're preaching there. And at Chir Ghat, we also have the goddess Katyayani.
Također imamo božicu Katyayani.
And this is the goddess whom the gopis worship to get Krishna as a husband.
Gopi obožavali da bi dobili Krišnu za muža.
And here's some of the gopis' clothes that Krishna left up
Neke
in the
odjeće
tree.
Gopi koje je Krišna ostavio na drvetu prije 5000 godina.
Not really, they were placed there.
Naravno, nisu ti, zamijenili su ih.
Pretty good for 5,000 years old clothes.
Prilično dobro izgledaju za odjeću staru 5000 godina.
And so here, see Chir Ghat and Yamuna has receded a
I
certain
Yamuna
distance.
se povlači.
And there's another picture of
Još
Katyayani.
jedna slika Katyayani.
The devotees of Chir Ghat.
I bakte na Chir Ghatu.
Then we go to Nanda Ghat.
Zatim idemo na Nanda Ghat.
This is where Nanda Maharaj
Tu je Nanda Maharaj
was abducted, that's a good word, was kidnapped
kidnapiran, otet.
By Varuna when he bathed at the
Od strane
improper time.
Varune kada se kupao u neprikladno vrijeme.
So what happened was this
I ono
was
što
the
se
wrong
desilo
time,
jeste da je se kupao u pogrešno vrijeme.
and then he was taken by Varuna's servants, and then Krishna ultimately had
sluga
to.
oteo i Krišna na kraju morao da ga vrati.
And Nanda Maharaj was astounded when he saw Varuna offering obeisances to his
tako da je
little boy
poštovanje
Krishna.
njegovom malom dječaku Krišni.
So this is Nanda Ghat.
Ali je Nanda Ghat.
Also around here,
Također
Chila Jiva
u toj
Goswami
okolini Šilađiva Gosvami
lived in what's called
je
a
živio
crocodile cave.
u ono što se zove, u onome što se zove pećina krokodila.
So there's some crocodiles, at least they used to be there in the Yamuna.
Barem su
And they
tada
make these
bili u Jamuni
caves.
krokodili i živjeli su u tim pećinama.
And sometimes you find sadhus living in them.
Ponekada nađete unutra saduje kako žive.
One of my godbrothers lived in
Jedan od mojih
them.
braća po Bogu je živio u toj pećini. Ko je to bio? Da li ko zna tu priču?
Radhanath Maharaj.
Radhanath Maharaj.
He went into one of those caves and chanted in one of those caves.
On je ušao u jednu od tih pećina i živio tamo, mantra.
I do not have so much faith
Ja
in
nemam toliko
crocodiles cave.
vjere da uđem u krokodilsku pećinu.
You know, have bars and doors and a gun.
Ja bih stavio rešetke i vrata i imao pušku.
Because some of these crocodiles, they're
Zato što
like
neki od tih
3
krokodila
meters long.
su dugi 3 metra.
They're not like pets you keep at
Nisu
home.
baš ko kućni ljubimci da ih držite kući.
So this is one of the caves there.
Ovo je jedna od pećina tamo.
And they're just like mud caves. They're not
To
actually
su
stone
pećine
caves.
od blata, nisu zapravo od kamena.
And inside you're standing there sometimes. Okay. Next one, my faithful servant. I get more humorous as you do. So, okay. Vrindavan Temple. This is where the cowherd boys had
Tu
many
su
pastimes.
dječaci pastiri imali mnoge zabave.
And there's a Shiva temple
Tu je hram Šive.
connected to this building, which is established by Vraja Mandal,
Vraja
who
Mandal,
was Krishna's great grandson,
Krišnin veliki unuk
Unu's son.
i sin Anirude.
And there he is. Krishna Mahadev. Krishna Mahadev Jai.
Jai.
And there's also Durga
I tu je
deity,
također i Durga.
Bhagavan. And of course Radha and Krishna, Radha Bhadra Vihari.
I tu su Radha Krishna, Radha Bhadra Vihari.
Then on to Vrindavan.
Zatim idemo u Vrindavan.
This is where Balaram
Tu Balaram
killed Pralambasura.
je ubio Pralambasuru.
So, who is Pralambasura?
Ko je Pralambasura? Da li se ih sjeća?
What? He was a demon, but what did he do?
Koji demon, šta je uradio? Se sjećate priče? It's a cowherd boy.
He was a coward boy, and
Dječak pastir.
how did Balaram kill him?
He carried Balaram.
Because why did he carry Balaram?
Because they were playing that game
Yeah.
of carrying each other.
No,
And
they're
then
playing it, and the loser had to carry the winner on his shoulders.
Da, igrali su igru i kada je neko izgubio, gubitnik je morao pobjednika da nosi na ramenima.
H.H.Bir Goswami says that Vraja and Krishna were married here.
Vraja and Krishna tu vjenčani.
And there's the marriage.
Evo vjenčanje.
So you see their dhoti and sari, or their clothes were tied together.
Sari su im zavezani u čvor.
That's Vraja and Krishna, and here's the marriage tree under which they were married.
Drveta ispod kojeg je izvršena ceremonija vjenčanja.
Lord Brahma performed the marriage
ceremony. Brahma je radio tu ceremoniju vjenčanja.
And from time to time they bring the deities out.
I s vremena na vrijeme iznose božanstvo.
And they have a replica or a remembrance of the marriage ceremony performed by
ceremoniju sjećanja na vjenčanje koje je uradio gospodin Brahma.
Okay, and this is also described in the Adivaraha Purana and Garga Samhita. So here's Radha and Krishna getting married. And Balaram, the deity Balaram, killed Ambasura. Jai Baladev. And right next to that temple is the Venu Kupa. Kupa means, well, Venu means flute. So it's another flute that Krishna dug, another well. And within this well it's considered that all the holy rivers reside. It's quite deep. Then there's the famous Vamsivata. And in this Vamsivata, it's actually a temple to Sridham, the coward boy, who is actually the older brother of Srimati Radharani. And he's waiting for Krishna to return from Mathura. There's Sridham right there. Waiting for Krishna to return. Those are Lord Chaitanya too. Another picture of the deity. That's Sridham. The one with the flute is Sridham. This coward boy also played the flute.
Who are the others?
There's Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda. There's a little Krishna to the left. And I don't know who can be to the right. And also there's another temple to Gopishvara Mahadev. That is Lord Shiva who appears as a Gopi. Next we go to Vrindavan. And this is a picnic place for Radha and Krishna. This is also where Lakshmi performed her austerities. There's an interesting story in the Chaitanya Charitamrita where Lord Chaitanya is talking to Venkatapata. And Venkatapata, of course, is worshipping Lakshmi Narayana. And he says, Lord Chaitanya says to Venkatapata, your Lakshmi wants to enter into Krishna's rasa dance. But she's not able to. She performed austerities for like 10,000 years. And she's still not able to enter into the rasa dance. And Venkatapata said, I can't understand this. It's just too deep for me. And Lord Chaitanya explained that Lakshmi is very attached to her opulences. So one's very attached to the opulences of worshipping Krishna. He cannot enter into Vraj. In other words, this is sort of a contrast between the Vaidhi Bhakti platform and the Raganuga platform. Of course, at our stage of devotion, we do worship Krishna with opulence. It's not that you should go up to the deities and kiss the deity. You know, you're not on that platform. Or like Raghunandana, the son of Mukunda. he would take a stick and threaten the deities. This is his mantra to get the deities to eat. He would say, eat, eat, and the deity would eat. But if you do that, Yamaraj will take a stick to you. So that's on a higher platform. How do you know when you're on the right platform to perform Raganuga Bhakti? Your knees stop. That means you're steady 24 hours a day. Your mind is controlled. You never get angry. You never eat too much. Raise your hand if these are your qualities. Alright, so stay on the platform of Vaidhi for right now. So anyway, so Lakshmi performed austerities. She wasn't able to enter into the Rasa. Then we go to Bilvan. This is the Vrindavan temple. And then Manasarovara. And the Manasarovara, that's the anger lake. So Radharani came here when she was very angry with Krishna. And Krishna came and he bent down and touched the feet of Srimati Radharani. Also, this is the place that Lord Shiva bathed to become a gopi. Gopishvara. Because Lord Shiva was also told he could not enter the rasa dance or see the rasa dance unless he was a female. So this is a beautiful lake. And these are the deities of Radha Krishna at Manasarovara. Some of the surroundings. And here's Krishna's begging at Radha's feet. And not only was he begging, he was crying. Here, Krishna crying. Thank you. Dear Prasanta had the baby come just at this time.
On cue.
On cue, you see Krishna arranges everything. So, of course, this also Srila Jayadev Goswami wrote in his Gita Govinda that Krishna bows down at Radharani's feet. Jiva Goswami couldn't believe he could write such a thing, so later Krishna actually completed that particular verse, Krishna personally. This is where Krishna bowed down. See, the trees are also bowing down. So we know that Krishna is the obedient servant of Srimati Radharani. So the devotees in Braj, they were always praying for the mercy of Srimati Radharani, chanting Jai Radhe 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 Sham. And so, because Prabhupada explained that when he please Radharani, Krishna being the obedient servant will have to give him this mercy. And this is outside of the temple in Manasarovara. And Lord Shiva is also there in Manasarovara. Next we go to Lohavana. So this is where Jarasandha was defeated 18 times. And after the 18th time, Krishna decided he didn't want to fight Jarasandha anymore. So what did he do? Yeah, he went to Dwarka and he ran away. Therefore, he's known as Ranchorji. And Krishna also rode the gopis across this kund, and this is called the Lohavana Kund because there was a demon named Lohasura who was killed by Krishna here. These are the deities.
Ovo su božanstva.
Okay, and there's one more.
Još jedno.
One more, and tomorrow we're going to do Vrindavan. Crying again. Okay, then we get to Dauji. Dauji, of course, means the older brother. And we're talking about the other older brother of Krishna. This is Balaram at the Dauji temple. A picture of Balaram. And Revati, his wife. And the Chir saga. Here the Chir means milk.
Chir znači mlijeko.
Or condensed milk, actually. So this is filled with milk.
Ispunjeno je mlijekom.
Originally it was filled with milk from 100,000 cows to offer to Balaram. The Dauji lady we just saw was discovered within this kund. And here's Balaram. Not actually Balaram in the background there, but he's watching the fighting between who? Insane and who else? Duryodhana. Who won? But
Krishna told him to hit below the belt, which was against Kshatriya rules.
Yes, Balaram later on wanted to kill Krishna.
Zato što se Krishna upravo rekao da udari Duryodhanu ispod.
One interesting thing is that according to Vedic culture, the younger brother should always listen to the older brother. So therefore we find in Lord Rama's pastimes that Lakshman, he always listened to Rama. Even when Rama asked him to do things he didn't want to do. Like Rama asked him to send Sita to the forest or put Sita into the fire. But he had to do it. Finally Rama was so pleased with Lakshman that he said to Lakshman, ask for benediction. And Lakshman said, from now on I never want to be born as your younger brother. So therefore, Balaram was Krishna's older brother. And Lord Nityananda was Lord Chaitanya's older brother. But interestingly enough, Krishna did not listen to his older brother. Krishna set some really bad examples. Like, for example, when Balaram was trying to arrange the marriage of Subhadra with Duryodhana, Krishna was very sneaky. And he arranged for Arjuna to kidnap Subhadra. So in so many instances, Krishna disobeyed Balaram. But Balaram tolerated. And sometimes he got so upset that he went on pilgrimage for a whole year just to get away. Like during the battle of Kurukshetra, Balaram actually went on pilgrimage. Interesting relationship. Okay, and here's Krishna pulling down the twin Arjuna trees. Krishna killing, Balaram killing the Dingalkasura, and Krishna also killing some of the other asses. And this is when Balaram got very angry at the Kauravas. And what did he do? He wanted to drag the city. That wasn't the Jamuna, this is drag the city. He was actually very angry at the Kauravas because they didn't respect him properly. And this is when Krishna killed what demon? Balaram, I'm sorry, killed Palambasura. And this is when they killed who? No, just joking. This is when they were arguing with Mother Yashoda. I was just teasing. So, And this is what, see, when Balaram accused Krishna of swallowing dirt, Krishna said he always lies, he's trying to get me in trouble, like older brothers do sometimes. Balaram, Krishna, with the Guru Gargamuni. And this is Krishna and Balaram killing Kamsa. Next we have the 100,008, sorry, Chinta Linga. It's called the Chinta Haran. Does anyone know what Chinta Haran means? Does anyone know what Chinta means? What? Worries, yes. It means anxiety. So this, if you approach this aspect of Lord Shiva, all your anxieties are taken away. So therefore he's called the 1008 Chinta Haran Linga. And there's of course deities of Radha and Krishna there. And then you have the Jamuna Ghat. And this is at the Brahmananda Ghat, where Mother Yashoda looked in the mouth of little baby Krishna. After Balaram complained that Krishna was eating dirt, and Krishna denied it, Yashoda saw all the universes within Krishna's mouth. Brahmananda Ghat. So the devotees of Brahmananda Ghat, one thing we do at Brahmananda Ghat is we pick up little pieces of dirt and eat it. Because the dirt there is very sweet. Because it's all Krishna's remnants. And the deities there are called Brahmananda Vihari. And then also we can come to the place where Lord Krishna dragged grinding water between our June trees. And Nalakuvara and Manigriva came out of the trees because they had been cursed by Narada Muni. Because why were they cursed? Because they were eating improper prasadam. They got drunk on the banks of the Mandakini Ganges, and they were bathing with two heavenly society girls. And Narada Muni walked by, and instead of covering themselves, they just said, "Hi, Narada." And this was like they have nowadays rainbow festivals. You ever heard of that? Where all the hippies get together and they parade around without clothes. I've been to them to preach. And it is disgusting. Ugh. It makes me nauseous each time I think of it. But anyway, sometimes we bring back devotees. And when we go on these preach of the rainbow festivals, we bring a portable battery-operated buzzer. You ever do that? Buzz people's hair off. Not the ladies, but it's very interesting preaching. Because we feed people with a lot of prasadam. And I just remember showing people how to chant, and they didn't have any clothes on. Chant on Japanese. So here you chant like this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So it's considered very low class. So therefore Narada Muni cursed. And Prabhupada actually said that if people want to be naked, they will become trees. One of the very important devotees in our movement, I'm not going to tell you, was was actually found by Prabhupada, made a devotee by Prabhupada, when he was in one of these colonies where they don't wear any clothes. And he was living inside the hollow of a tree. Prabhupada preached to him and he became a big leader in our movement. I'm not going to say I'm not, no quick. No. It's not me, don't worry. All right, anyway, the Lord Chaitanya saved Jagai Manas. Okay, so therefore they were cursed and then they were saved by Krishna. His mother Yashoda chastised Krishna. And this is supposed to be the grinding from 5,000 years ago, but I can't say for sure it is the same. And that's where they keep the grinding water, right at this place. And the beautiful deities there are called Ulta, Banda, Damodar. Banda means to be tied. So the Damodar also means around the belly. So Krishna was tied around the belly. Then we arrive at Gokul. So this is where Krishna appeared. Remember we described that Krishna was not actually born in Mathura. He appeared in Gokul. And the expansion of his known as what? Say Vasudeva was born to the father Vasudeva. Remember your pronunciation. Vasudeva. Vasudeva is Krishna. Vasudeva is his father. Got it? So, and then when Vasudeva Krishna was brought by Vasudeva to Gokul, Vasudeva Krishna entered into Nanda Kumar, who was Nanda Maharaja's son. And so they were sort of merged into one. That's what Krishna Chakravarti Thakur states. His commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sarada Dasami. Actually, it's a very interesting commentary, and if you get a chance to read it, the commentary was translated by my god brothers, Manu Swami. B-H-A-N-U. And he resides in Chennai, India. He's a great scholar. Chennai. Okay, this is Gokul. This is the entrance to Gokul. And there's many deities, Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, Balaram. You see there. And one thing is, if you ever go to Gokul, you have to run through the temple. Why do you have to run through? There are so many pandas there, and there's so many deities there, and everyone wants a donation. So it's just like, oh, come see my deities, come see my deities. So when we went there with Dinabandha Prabhu, he said, I'm not going in. It's too heavy for me. But it's beautiful deities there. And displays on the wall. That's Krishna killing it's Aristasura or Vatsasura. And there's one of my favorite devotees, Putana. She's a devotee. She went back to the spiritual world. with Yashoda churning the
Majka
butter.
Yashoda koja mučka maslac.
And Sanatana Goswami also had a bhajan.
Sanatana Goswami je također imao tu bhajan kutir.
In Gokul.
U Gokulu.
Krishna coming back.
Krishna se vraća, majci Yashodi.
And then Raval.
I zatim Raval.
Srimati Radharani's appearance
To je
was.
mjesto pojave Srimati Radharani.
And so this is similar to the story that they tell in Varshana. They say that Vrishabhanu, who was the father of Srimati Radharani, went to the Jamuna to take bath, and he saw a golden lotus that was thousands or millions of times brighter than the sun, and that lotus was baby Vraja.
Prekrasnu bebu Radharani.
So this is the main temple, Raval temple.
Hram u Ravalu.
And he does that.
Tu su božanstva.
And interesting, the deity here, the deities here were established by Rajanava, who is the grandson of Krishna, very good Krishna. And there's many interesting pictures of this temple. Very quiet temple. There's hardly any devotees who go there, so it's a very, very quiet, peaceful place to chant and meditate. So the story goes that when Radharani appeared, she was blind. And of course the reason she was blind was that when Krishna asked her to go to the material world, she said, I don't want to see any of those rascals. All I want to see is you. Just like you have some of these songs in this world, romantic songs, where someone says, I only have eyes for you. I'm sure some of you have said that to your wives. Maybe. So anyway, but with Radha and Krishna, it is true. I mean, if you want to overcome the tendency for romance in this world, then you should read about the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So she was born blind. And Narada Muni came to their house, Vrishabhanu's house, and he said, you should have the birth ceremony. And Vrishabhanu said, how do you have the birth ceremony? It's not auspicious because she's blind. But Narada Muni insisted. And so they had the birth ceremony and they invited Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda to come. And of course, little baby Krishna was there. And little baby Krishna crawled before Srimati Radharani. And she smelled his fragrance. And for the first time, she opened her eyes. And she saw Krishna. That's nice. And that's how we should be. Only having eyes for Krishna and Radharani. Not for some so-called society and friendship and love in this world. Srimati Radharani is a little baby. I love this picture. And that was the end of our Parikrama. This is one of our groups we took around. See if we have anyone. Oh yeah, Susanna Radha. She's the local representative for the Balkans. Anyone else from the Balkans? Oh yeah. Manjari Gopi was there. And Mario was there. No one else from the Balkans. Okay. Sometime in the future, if any of you wish to go, we can take another group around. We did this particular tour by vehicle. It took about 10 or 11 days. And it's for those of you who can't walk. But the normal procedure is you go by foot. And most of the devotees have gone by foot. Okay. So any questions? We have until 11:30, right?
Imamo vremena do 11:30.
Tomorrow we can do the Vrindavan portion, which is actually the longest portion.
Preći dio Vrindavana.
As you see, I have a lot of papers.
Kao što vidite, imam dosta papira za Vrindavan.
So any questions or comments?
Da li ima nekih pitanja ili komentara?
About Vraja Mandal Parikrama?
U vezi Vraja Mandal Parikrama?
Or philosophy or anything?
Ili filozofije?
Yeah.
How many kilometers do you walk a day in one of?
Well, we didn't walk by car. Some days when you walk, some days you walk very little, like 10 kilometers. Other days, I think the longest is like 30-something kilometers.
Kada se hoda se dnevno 10 km, najduže 30 km.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on which part of the parikrama you're doing, but the longest is like 34 kilometers, 34 to 38 kilometers in one day.
And you start early in the morning?
Yeah, start early in the morning.
6, 5.
Well, it depends. Each parikrama does a little bit differently, but usually you'd start about 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. When it's cool, because if you're walking with bare feet on the hot sand or on the road, it can actually get quite intense after a while.
Znači, ja sam pitala Maharaja i kada se polazi ujutru, sigurno rano, on je rekao da zavisi od mjesta, obično oko 6 sati, zato što kasnije kada je sunce jako, sve se užari i onda ne može se hodati po užarenom pijesku ili...
With the Govardhan Parikrama, we usually start about 3 or 4 in the morning during the summer, because it gets too hot. Like I'm going to be at Govardhan in 5 days.
Sa Govardhan Parikramom krećemo
2 hours, 36 minutes and 56 seconds. So during the summer when it's real hot like this, we go out early in the morning.
Idemo rano ujutro, polazimo rano ujutro.
And our fastest Parikrama around Govardhan was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
3 sata i 15 minuta.
Usually it takes a little longer.
Obično treba malo duže.
When we do Govardhan Parikrama,
kada radimo Govardhan Parikrama,
we usually take 3 days.
Obično nam treba 3 dana.
Not for myself, but when I take groups around.
Ne za mene samo, već kada vodim grupe.
If you go too quickly, you miss everything.
Onda sve propustite.
And another thing is when you try to take devotees and see too many things in one day,
kada pokušate voditi bakte i da vidite, i kad želite vidjeti što više u jednom danu, onda posle nekog vremena počne da se zamagljuje.
So what I find is a half parikrama each day on Govardhan.
Mislim da je bolje svaki dan pola parikrama.
And then the third day we do Radhakund and Shamakund, which is actually practically
treći dan radimo Shamakund, Radhakund.
Because there's a lot of places to see Radhakund and Shamakund that devotees don't normally go. Also in Govardhan, we show you places that many of you, I think most of you, not all of you, like Lalkund and
Gantoli, Lalkund, Chaturbuj. Ne znam da li ste mnogi od vas vidjeli Chaturbuj, božanstvo, odnosno četvorku Krišu.
So we really, in Govardhan Parikrama, we really go into depth and see everything.
Idemo dubinski i sve vidimo.
And we tell stories at each place. It's quite enlivening.
Poprilično je oživljavajuće.
I could do Govardhan Parikrama every day and I'd be happy.
Kad bi ja mogao svaki dan raditi Govardhan, bio bih sretan.
So, any other questions?
Ima li još neki pitanje?
Who are Jatila, Kutila, and Abhimanyu in Chaitanya Leela?
I don't remember.
Pitanje je bilo ko su Jatila, Kutila i Abhimanyu u Chaitanya Leeli. Odgovor je bio ne sjećam se.
What? Oh, Ramchandra Puri is who? Okay, we'll have to look that up.
Morat ćemo da provjerimo u spisima
Computer tonight.
u kompjuteru večeras.
I'm sure in the Goragana Deshipika it has that.
Siguran sam da je ta informacija sadržana u Gora Ganga Dešdipiki.
Yeah.
Thank you, Maharaj, for the seminar. I want to ask you, what are the material and spiritual benefits of doing Vraja Mandal Parikrama?
Material benefits? What are you interested in material benefits for?
let's say some devotees.
All right, if you want a husband, yeah,
Yes.
you can get a husband. Yeah, just like you see when you go to... You asked a funny question, so I guess. When you go to these various places, you see these sacred trees, you see things tied up to the tree. I'm sure you've seen that. That's usually because ladies wanted a husband or they wanted a son. What? Not every lady wants Krishna. Maybe you do. Krishna demands too much surrender. They want a husband who will listen to them. So, yes, of course, in the Bhagavatam it says, Akama sarva kama moksha kama daradi kadraina bhakti yogeni yajeta purusham puram. That whether one is free of material desires, full of material desires, or desires of liberation, one should worship Krishna.
U Bhagavatamu naravno piše da, bez obzira na to da li je osoba puno materijalnih želja, oslobođena želja, ili samo traži oslobođenje, treba, bez obzira na svoje stanje, obožavati Krishnu.
So whatever your desire is, worship Krishna. Don't worship any other demigod, don't worship the politicians, worship Krishna.
Stoga šta god da želite, obožavajte Krishnu, nemojte obožavati polubogove, nemojte obožavati političare, samo obožavajte Krishnu.
But then there's also this other verse, Yashaham and Upriname Orishe Tadanam Shanai, that when I especially favor someone, I take everything away.
Ali onda ima još jedan stih koji kaže sam Krishna, kada nekoga posebno favorizira, onda mu sve uzme.
So that's a little bit of a dilemma. I'm supposed to worship Krishna when I want something, but Krishna also takes everything away.
To je malo sad neka dilema, jel? Trebao bi da obožavam Krishnu kada nešto želim od njega, ali istovremeno Krishna uzima sve.
But the point is that Krishna will give you something if it's good for you.
Poenta je sljedeća. Krishna će vam nešto dati ako je to dobro za vas.
So we're not so much interested in material benefits.
Nismo mi toliko zainteresirani za materijalne koristi.
But as far as the spiritual benefits,
što se tiče duhovnih koristi,
if one does not commit offenses, I'm respectful to the Vrajavasis, serving the Vrajavasis, and hearing nicely, that's the most important. Then one can come closer to Krishna. But the real point is to hear. I mean, if you simply see a bunch of things,
posmatrate hrpu stvari
and you don't hear from the self-realized souls,
ako ne slušate od samo spoznatih duša,
you're going to the holy places is like
vaš odlazak na sveta mjesta,
a cow or an ass taking a bath in a sacred river.
Kao kad se krava ili magarac kupa u svetoj rijeci.
Of course, they do, the cow and the ass, they do make some spiritual benefit.
Krava i magarac dobiju neki duhovni dobrobit, tako kad se kupaju u Gangi.
But we have the ability to hear. And hearing means to follow the instructions from Krishna's representative. So that's the point. Like Prabhupada was very interested to hear from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And not as interested in seeing all the temples in Vrindavan. Prabhupada got many instructions from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati when they were walking by the banks of the Radha. Like Prabhupada was walking with them, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a famous conversation said, there will be a fire. Referring to the Gaudiya Math, everybody fighting each other because they had no inclination, would have no inclination to follow the instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to form a GBC and work cooperatively. In fact, Prabhupada said Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left this world because he was upset with his disciples. And then, Srila Prabhupada got this famous instruction that if you ever get any money, print and distribute books. And then I'll tell you one story.
Reći vam jednu priču za kraj, koju možda ne znate.
That I was in Los Angeles.
Bio sam u Los Angelesu.
It was 1975.
Mislim da je bila 1975. godina.
And Srila Prabhupada had just come.
Se upravo vratio, došao.
And the devotees had
Bakte su
constructed a new temple room in Los Angeles.
Napravili novi temple room u Los Angelesu.
And moved the deities from the old temple room to the new temple room. But they had spent like $200,000.
$200,000 i u to vrijeme to je bio ogroman novac.
And this was actually against Prabhupada's instruction, because Prabhupada didn't want them to do that. But they thought they knew better than Prabhupada.
Oni su mislili da su pametniji još od Prabhupada.
That happens. The disciples oftentimes think they know better.
I učenici često misle da su pametniji od Prabhupada.
So anyway, so Prabhupada sat down in the Vyasasana. And one of the first things he said when he saw the new temple room sitting down in the Vyasasana is, my spiritual master said that if you could sell the marble from the temples and surely books, you should do it. And imagine, because the devotees were expecting Prabhupada to say, oh, it's so nice what you've done, all this nice marble, the little figures dancing on top. That was the first thing Prabhupada said. And Prabhupada left it at that. He didn't get into more specifics. Anyway, so Prabhupada did stress to hear from the self-realized soul is much more important than the seeing process. So we should take that time. Okay? I think it's time to end. And we'll see everybody for the final segment tomorrow. All of our is the vibration of Prabhupada, Ki Jai. Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Vraja Mandal Parikrama Ki Jai, Gornitai Ki Jai.
Radhe Radhe Govind Govind